Hi everybody, it's Cindy, that crafting lady. Welcome to my channel. Today is January Thrifty Crafting Thursday. So anything you want to make, as long as it's under $5 per project. My co-host this month is Theresa B DIY. So please check out her channel. It will be listed in the description box below, along with the playlist of everybody else that is joining us in this challenge. I can't wait to see what everybody brings this month. Let's get started. Okay, for this project I'm using a Dollar Tree vase and some twigs I got at Hobby Lobby around Christmas time, and some jute twine. I'm showing you the E6000 and I do start to use it, but we end up using just my Surebonder because you got to stick with the best, and it worked really well. So I won't even tell you what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of smearing on some E6000. It's the only time I do it, and I didn't do it for the rest of the twigs, so no big deal. Anyways, so then I put a line of glue over the top of where the E6000 was, because I was thinking long-term hold, short-term hold, but it really didn't matter. I'm going to add the jute twine, so that'll be okay. All right. And I also, I add the hot glue like down the middle. And really, the only place you needed to add the glue is at the very top and at the very bottom. That's where the twigs really are hitting that glass, because, they're natural materials. So they have a natural curve, and you're trying to put something curved on something that's perfectly flat. So it's not going to, hit in every single spot. So I end up, after I think this one or the next one, I just put glue at the top and at the bottom, because that's really where the twigs hit the glass. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you hold them in place until they're set. And you also want to make sure that your twigs extend over the top of the vase, but not over the bottom of the vase, because you want that bottom to sit nice and flat and level on your table. So if you want to hold them up a little bit from the bottom, that's fine. I kind of just let them be right at the bottom of the glass, and it worked out really well. And I like it. So you can see I'm just putting a little bit of glue on top, a little bit of glue at the bottom, and going all the way around. This whole process might have been a little less lengthy if I had sorted out the twigs ahead of time and tried to pick out the ones that are all kind of similar in shape and size. So that might have took a little less time. It took me about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes to do. The other thing that you want to make sure is to hold them in place until they sit, until they're really glued in there. You can see I add a little bit extra glue here and there just to make sure that they don't move. And that's about it. You just keep going around until you've got your vase completely covered with the twigs. There we go. Just a few more to go, and we'll have the vase basically done. So again, if I had sorted the twigs out, it might have been a lot quicker. I think I have one more I'm going to add in there. Let's see which one I want to add. Just find the right size to kind of smooch in there, because I didn't want that big of a gap. A little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom, because it's the only place it's going to touch anyways. And then kind of wedge it in, wedge it around the top. And there we go. We've got our last twig in place. There, I think that looks really good. So the next thing I'm going to do, you can see all the glitter and stuff just comes right off. So they don't even look Christmassy or anything. And I've used them on several projects, so it was a really good value. The next thing I'm going to do is take the jute, and I'm going to wrap it around the middle of the vase. Now, you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I just wanted to add something a little bit extra. So I'm just going to take some of my hot glue, my Surebonder, Stick with the Best, and start my twine right around the middle. Wasn't getting picky as to measuring exactly the middle. And you can use some hot glue in several spots if you want as you're going around. I didn't. I just basically held some tension on it to make sure that it was nice and tight, and just wound it around until I felt I had enough twine on there. And you can put as much or as little as you want here in this area. It's your craft. Make it till you like it. Don't have to please anyone but yourself. All right, so now I'm going to take a little bit more hot glue to glue down the end of that twine. There we go. I didn't grab my little silicone spatula, so I'm just using a craft stick to smooth the glue into the vase. I thought it needed something else, so I grabbed a little wood laser cutout that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just putting a little bit of hot glue on it. It's a little flower, and I will just put that right about where I just ended my twine. I'm trying to find the spot I ended it. There it is. Okay, so just set that on, and this project is basically done. Push it in with my craft stick so that it gets seated in there well. Get rid of those glue strings. Gotta love them. I'm sarcastic there, you know that. I think it looks great, and you can use this as a candle holder, or as I'm using it here, as a vase. Got some tulips at the store today. I thought they looked really cute in here. It would have been better with maybe 3 or 4 bunches, but I like it. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, for this project, I made a sticker on my Cricut. I wrote the word home with a heart. I'm going to be using some Mod Podge, some Epsom salts, and some jars that basically were in the recycle bin. So this is a very inexpensive craft also. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut apart my letters, because each letter is going to go onto a jar. But instead of using the O, I am going to use the heart as my O. So we'll cut these all apart. And we'll take the O and we'll set it aside because we're not going to use it. Now what I'm going to do here is place the letter on the jar just a little bit up from the bottom. So I've got to peel the transfer tape away from the backing. There we go. And you don't have to be real picky. I'd like them all to be about in the same space. So actually I just took my foam brush as like a little measuring area and said, oh, it looks good. Foam brush width from the bottom up. Perfect. And then just smooth it down. And you're going to do that with all your letters and your heart. So we'll just put them all on. Put the heart. There's my O. Foam brush up. There we go. My measuring. Gotta love my measuring, right? Just like me measuring how far it was from one point to the other on the map by saying, oh, well, let's... it's 6 paper clips from here to there. It's like, okay, what paper clip are you using? So there you go. They're all stuck on. So on to the next step. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some Mod Podge and we are going to Mod Podge the whole jar. Now, I make a mistake here, guys. Watch. See, I didn't take it out. I didn't edit it out because we all make mistakes. What did I forget to do? I forgot to take the transfer tape off. So I grab a napkin here and just wipe that Mod Podge off real quick and peel up the transfer tape because we just want the letter on the jar. We don't want the transfer tape there. There we go. All right. Now that I've got it done, let's add our Mod Podge. You want a good, generous coat. I'm not going up on the rim of the jar in case I want to add a lid to it. And I didn't do the bottom of the jar either because I want it to sit nice and level. So once you give it a good coat, you're going to take your Epsom salts and you're just going to coat the whole jar in Epsom salts, all the places that you have the Mod Podge. Mod Podge. I always say that wrong. There we go. All right, and you shake off the excess. And now I need to do that to all 4 jars instead of just the one. We'll do all 4, then we'll let them dry completely. And I let them dry overnight. As you can see, I have a different color shirt on because it's the next day. So next thing we need to do is get that vinyl off, because basically we just used it as a reverse stencil to keep the Epsom salts and the Mod Podge everywhere except for where the sticker was. So I'm just using my little Cricut tool, that little pointy tool, to lift that sticker up. And now I'm just going to pull it off gently. And you may need to use your little tool to get it up in different areas, especially like with the E and the H and stuff. The heart is the easiest out of all of them. Just go very slowly and pull it up, and you will get off just the Epsom salts and stuff where the sticker was. And there you go. Done. Blow it off a little, and now I have a nice clear heart on my thing. It does get a little messy, and you get the Epsom salts coming off of the sticker, but cleans up pretty easy. So we're going to lay it out so you can see what it looks like. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's backwards for you, isn't it? Let's go the other way. There we go. Yeah, H-O. There we go. Okay, H-O-M-N-E. So we have our little home jars. And again, you can use these to put utensils in. You can use them as vases for fresh flowers. You could use them for candle holders like I did here. I just put a votive in each one and make it look cute. Let me know what you think of this craft in the comments below. Okay, for this craft, I am going to be using a little candle holder that I got at the Dollar Tree. The big 5-gallon paint stir sticks that you get at Walmart. And those are like, I don't know, 6 for $1 or something, $2, something like that. A couple of beads, some scrap rope, and 2 of the Crafter Companion wood squares. And my hubby bought me this nice miter box so that I can cut my wood and things like that on my own. I don't have to have him get out the big saws and things like that for little projects. So I used 6 paint sticks. I cut 4 paint sticks 8.5 inches long, and then I cut the other one 4 1/4. I cut 1 paint stick 4 1/4 inches, and I got 3 out of those, and I just took a 4 1/4 out of this 6th paint stick, and I'll save all those scraps for another project some other time. After I cut them, I just took a piece of sandpaper and sanded off any of the rough edges from me cutting it. Just a little rub against it, and it takes those edges off. So again, I have 4 pieces that are about 4¼ inches, and then I have 8 pieces that are 8½ inches long. And then my 2 crafters squares. So I'm going to take them and glue these 2 together using my Surebonder, Stick with the Best. So I'm going to go right ahead and just put a good amount of glue because I want them to stay together. And the reason I'm using 2 of them and not 1 is that I want the width of 2 of them, because when I'm making this lantern, I want the base to be nice and sturdy. So the long ones, I'm going to glue in the corners of the crafter's square. So I'm just going to take a bead of my hot glue and set it right up against the table, right against the bottom, and right against the edge of that square. And you just got to hold it there until the glue sets. Doesn't take very long. And I am going to put one at each of the corners of this square. So I'm just going to glue the bottom and put the next one in and keep going around the whole square until I have 2 on each corner. And there we go. Now the one thing I would suggest before putting this all together is to paint your pieces before you assemble them, instead of what I did and assemble it and then paint the piece afterwards, because you get a lot of weird brush angles and things like that when you're trying to paint this. So now that I've got all of my uprights on, I'm going to take my 4 shorter pieces and I am going to put them along the top. So I will set this down so you can see it. I'm just making sure I've got the right measurement there. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue on each end of the shorter board, which is 4¼ If I remember, I'll try to put the dimensions in the description box. And then just glue them so that your uprights are even and level. And there you go. And we'll put one on each side. A little more glue, both sides, and put your thing. There you go. And I cut one wrong, so I had to take the other paint stick and cut another piece for it. So I had 4 pieces. I cut 3 right and 1 wrong. So add my last piece. A little glue there, a little glue there. And get it on there. There we go. So our lantern is basically complete, other than getting it nice and painted. All right. So I am going to take some Waverly chalk paint. Let me grab it here so I can show you. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so the Waverly chalk paint in white, and I'm going to give that 2 coats. And actually, I think I only ended up giving it 1 coat. 1 coat covered really well, but as I said, it was kind of a pain to paint, and I made sure to paint the bottom and everything so it looked all nice and finished. I even painted my 2 beads. And now I'm going to take my jute, and it's taped at the bottom so that way it goes through the beads nice and easily. Just feed those 2 on and then take that tape off. And then add, oh, nope, got to get that tape off first. There we go. Get it all off. I like to tape the edges of it so it doesn't unravel when I'm storing it. All right, I'm going to take some hot glue and put it towards the bottom there, and then slide that bead back down over the top of the hot glue so that the bead is attached to the end of my cord. And I don't suggest you do this because that is hot, but my fingers are just so used to it. Remember, hot glue is hot. There we go. All right, so the one end is glued on. And now I am going to hold it where I want to put it so that I can measure out how much cord I need. And I want my handle to be about that long. So I'll hold it there. And I'm going to mark it with my finger and then move the bead out of the way so I can cut the rope. Now I'll put another piece of tape on that and I will set that aside. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to add the hot glue and put the bead down at the end to make my handle for my lantern. And just kind of twist it down, twist it around to make sure that the glue adheres to the bead. And get off any excess and things like that. You can use popsicle stick or your rubber, your silicone scraper, anything like that to get it nice and neat there. Now I want to put it towards the top and right in the center of one of the sides. And you really have to hold this there until that glue is almost completely dry. You see me blowing on it here a little bit because I wanted to speed up the process, but you really can't. You got to hold it and just hold right onto it until that glue is set, or else it is not going to, see that one moved because I didn't hold it long enough. So hold it until it's set. And then I end up taking a little bit of glue and just putting it between the bead. Sorry, shh, quiet. Putting it between the bead and the lantern to give it a little extra reinforcement. There we go. We are almost done. So now we can take our tea light that is in our jar and turn it on. Actually, nope, this one is easier to get out if you unscrew it. There we go. Turn my tea light on. You can use a regular candle in here too, or you can just use one of the electric ones like I have here. Either way. And that looks cute, doesn't it? I think so. I will show you what it looks like in a little close-up photo here in just a second. But this project is done too. Not bad, huh? And really cheap. So that's what it looks like when it's done. I hope you like it. I do. Let me know which one of these projects you liked the best in the comments and what other projects you'd like to see. Remember, this is part of Thrifty Crafting Thursday, and my co-host is Theresa B DIY. So check out her channel and the playlist. They'll both be linked in the description box below. And until next time, guys, live fully, love deeply, and learn something new every day. Bye. Thanks for watching.